The story begins at a time when the condition of the Earth had deteriorated significantly. The Earth's environment had become so unstable that no human could live there anymore. Therefore, scientists decided to establish their colony on the Moon. They sent a team of people to start their research on the Moon. Initially, their project went well for some time. However, surviving on the Moon was not easy because there were frequent collisions with asteroids, posing a danger to the researchers. Due to these risks, Earth scientists eventually decided to halt research on the Moon. They were initially sending humans to learn techniques for surviving on the Moon, where they were mining and discovering different ways to survive. Now, a very large base is shown above the Moon where humans used to mine, and all the people had been living on that base for many years. Alongside them, many generations of miners were born right there on that base. That means there were also children born on that base. Now, the same base built on the Moon is shown where some children's group were planning to steal a rover for moon travel. However, when all of them were almost successful, someone appeared in that place, for whom all the people fled from there and hid somewhere in awe. The surprising thing was that none of the children were born on Earth, meaning they had no idea what Earth looks like. Now, on that same base, a boy named Caleb is shown. Caleb's father also worked on mining in the same base, but many years ago, Caleb's mom and dad were killed in an accident. Since then, Caleb has been completely alone. Recently, however, the management there decided that Caleb would be sent to good parents. But those parents did not live on Earth. Scientists had discovered another planet named Plasma for wealthy people, where all the rich people with a lot of money were present. Normal people couldn't go there. Now, the decision was made that a family living on that planet would adopt Caleb. Therefore, Caleb will soon be sent to that planet. Actually, it takes 75 years to reach that planet named Plasma, and Caleb is very scared that he will have to travel for 75 years. However, a technique called cryosleep was used for such long journeys. In fact, this technique was similar to hibernation, where a person's age and body remained the same even after spending many years in space. This technique was very reliable. Although Caleb knew he was going to a new family, he didn't feel like it at all because he had many good friends on the base on the Moon, and after going to the Plasma planet, all those friends would disappear. That's why Caleb was quite lost in thought. Now, Caleb was missing his father a lot. His father always used to talk about a very large crater on the other side of the Moon, which was incredibly beautiful and attractive. Caleb's father had told him that he must see that crater at least once in his life. Actually, a crater is formed when a large meteorite falls on the Earth, and similarly, there was a crater present on the other side of the Moon. However, the biggest problem was that the Moon's management had decided to keep it limited. They had already said that no one would be allowed to go beyond this range. But Caleb had to see that crater at least once. Now Caleb had a capsule given to him by his father. Opening that capsule revealed a map inside. On the map, there were several symbols of the Moon that indicated the paths present there. Now Khalif has a friend here named Dylan. Dylan also knows about Khalif's father's dreams, who used to talk about that creator. So now, Dylan started telling Khalif along with his other friends that although you may leave us and go back to your family after some time, until then we can go and see that creator who was on the other side of the Moon. By doing this, you can also fulfill your father's dream, Khalif. Khalif also liked these ideas very much, so he was agreeing to this. But now the biggest problem is how to get out of this base. For this, they will need a serious code. Then Dylan gets an idea because he recently heard that a girl named Mina has transferred from Earth to the Moon and she is a scientist's daughter. So she must be good in terms of technology. Perhaps she could help crack the code so that they all can get out of the entire base. Now, Dylan starts explaining all these things to Mina. However, Mina initially doesn't agree. But Dylan explains everything to Mina about how Khalif wants to fulfill his father's dream, and if he does so, he will be very happy. After requesting several times, Mina finally agrees to Dylan's proposal, but she puts a condition that she will also go with them on the mission. Now, as soon as possible, Dylan comes to Kolb and the other people with Mina. All of Khalif's friends were now near a rover, which was already turned on. They were all silently doing their work. Khalif even defused the security alarm. After that, he applies the code given by Mina and activates the rover. It was Dylan's job to drive the rover because he was good at driving. Now, they all were out on the Moon's surface. However, one thing was on their minds that before they have to return due to having a meteor and a shower, many meteors were falling on the Moon's surface from the sky. During their entire journey, everyone was introducing Mina about themselves. Among all these things, Khalif shows the map given by his father, with the help of which they all can reach that large creator. Therefore, now while searching for that map, everyone starts moving forward. After a while, they all reach a place where there was no creator present. The whole place was completely plain. So now, everyone wears their spacesuits and descends onto the surface of the moon. From that place, even Earth looked quite impressive, which made Mina quite emotional because she remembered Earth vividly. The creator that Khalif's father mentioned was a little distance away, but Khalif and all his friends were enjoying themselves. One of Khalif's companions had already attached an oxygen gas to his body and had it turned on, flying up to a considerable height above the moon's surface. However, Mina warns them all that these actions could be quite dangerous, but they were not ready to listen. Amidst all this, suddenly one of Khalif's friend's wire breaks loose, which had him tethered, and now he began floating upwards uncontrollably. Khalif and many of his friends immediately turned on their oxygen cylinders and went to catch their friend. They somehow managed to grab and pull him down, but they were running low on oxygen. After thinking a lot about reaching the creator, Khalif decides to go to another nearby base where they might find more oxygen. Because now he had to fulfill his father's dream. However, one of his companions mentions that his brother had said that ghosts live on top of that base. And that base was completely closed off, where no one had gone before. But Khalif wasn't entirely confident about all this. He said that they would bring oxygen cylinders from there. Gathering their courage, they entered the base where it was quite dark inside. Upon entering, they saw the shadows of many humans, which scared them all quite a bit. But when the electricity was turned on, they realized that all those figures were mannequins made to resemble humans. When Khalif's friends explored the place, they found that it was built just like a semi-terrestrial home, where people living on the moon could comfortably reside. Now Khalif and his companions found many cylinders of food and oxygen at that place. Due to extreme fatigue, they decided to stay there for some time. Everyone was comfortable there. Khalif and Mina were talking to each other, where Khalif was sharing that his mom and dad had passed away a long time ago, and since then, only Dylan had been with him. But soon, he would be leaving the planet alone. Mina promised to look after Dylan after Khalif leaves, which made Khalif very happy. After resting for several hours, they all took the rover and continued their journey forward. But the most shocking thing was that their rover's battery was running low. Still, with the help of oxygen cylinders, they continued moving forward continuously and finally reached the crater that Khalif's father had told him about. On the moon, there is the largest crater made from a very large meteorite. Now, everyone somehow enters inside the crater. The place seemed quite strange, as if humans had developed some new technology there too. As soon as Mina touched a stone, she was sucked inside, and suddenly the environment started changing all around, as if everyone had come back to Earth for a while. Although these things aren't actually present in reality, it's an optical illusion, allowing people to enjoy Earth-like experiences even on the moon. Everyone was quite amazed by this. It was then that Khalif removed a slab from a stone and found a capsule along with a photo of his mom and dad. He understood why his dad wanted him to come to this crater after all. However, Khalif became quite angry. He was lost in deep thought about why his father left him like this. Meanwhile, Dylan and all his friends were explaining to Khalif that he should enjoy the present time. Khalif had fulfilled his father's dream, which was a big deal. Finally, Khalif understood everything. In fact, Khalif's father was very poor and wanted to raise him in a better place. Therefore, knowingly, he sacrificed his life so that Khalif could be sent to Plasma Planet. All Khalif's friends knew this, except for Dylan, who explained to Khalif that fulfilling his father's dream is a big deal that no one can do for you. And he starts to leave with his father's photo because suddenly his companion's health had deteriorated significantly. All the friends gathered together and started moving towards the rover, but within a short while, meteor showers had begun there. Large pieces of boulders were falling all around, forcing everyone to move forward while avoiding them. However, Mina was left behind. Kelly and Dylan gathered courage in any way possible and went to rescue Mina, but due to so many meteoroids falling, they too got stuck. Somehow, they slowly made their way inside the rover, but now the rover's mirrors were broken and they had very little oxygen left. Khalif's friends had already realized that no one could save them now, and they would have to end their lives in this way. Surprisingly, everyone felt relieved that they were going to die together. Everyone had lost all hope of surviving. After some years, a scene is shown where Khalif had reached Kale Planet. Upon regaining consciousness, he was in shock for some time, meaning Khalif had been in cryosleep for so many years. Khalif now asks a nurse about his friends who were still on the moon. The nurse arranged for Khalif to speak with all his friends, which Khalif realized his friends still remembered him, having spent half of their lives in cryosleep. Not only Khalif but he had the same age on the Plasma Planet. And our story ends here.